For the past 3 out of 16 years, the U.S. Sumo Open has been here at the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach, California. We're at the 16th annual U.S. Sumo Open, the largest sumo tournament in the world outside of Japan. This year, 55 elite athletes from 13 different countries, most of whom are national champions, are competing. Fighters from USA, Mongolia, Japan, Russia, Norway, Poland, Germany, Switzerland, Belgium, Uzbekistan, Egypt, India, and Sri Lanka are all entering the sumo ring. It's a packed venue with over 4,000 fans in attendance. The wrestlers will be competing in lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight, and openweight divisions. Every year, the intensity and the quality of the sumo matches grow even stronger. Who will make sumo history this year? Let's take a look at the best of the best from the 16th annual U.S. Sumo Open. Let's take a look at a standout in the lightweight division, Batyr Altiev. Batyr consistently wins medals every year at the Sumo World Championships. This guy has incredible technique and skill. He's got to be the favorite to win this competition.
Absolutely, and Batyr just blew through all his opponents in the opening rounds, picking them up and slamming them down with ease.
Here he is in an opening round match with the Japanese opponent. The fans were probably expecting a really close fight.
But he wins this match effortlessly. And Batyr won all his opening round matches and the quarterfinals. In the semifinals here, he's facing his own training partner, and he gets the victory. We see here in the instant replay how much Batyr controls the flow of the match.
And that sets the stage for the lightweight final match. Batyr versus Egyptian champion Mohammed Kamal. Both men are undefeated so far. Both of these guys have competed multiple times at the World Championships.
And they come out cautiously at the start, jockeying for position, trying to get lower than their opponent. Looks like Batyr has a good inside grip there. Moving Mohammed back toward the edge. Both still kind of grappling. Ooh, nice move. Batyr just pulls him down. Mohammed is not happy.
What a great victory. The new lightweight champion, Batyr Altiev from Russia. And there he is, celebrating with his signature backflip, and the crowd is just loving it.
And in case you missed it, here's that backflip again in slow-mo.
After winning the lightweight division undefeated, Batyr went on to compete in the openweight division, challenging heavier opponents.
Here he is in one of the matches against 211-pound Nyambayar from Mongolia, and the 187-pound Batyr takes him down just like he won the lightweight finals. Amazing thing is that Nyambayar, who he just beat, was the undefeated lightweight champion the last 2 years, 13-0, and now, even though he's a middleweight, he lost to the incredible Batyr from Russia. Another Mongolian opponent that Batyr faced is 300-pound Davanyam, and Davanyam is no pushover. He wins a medal almost year after year at the U.S. Sumo Open, so he is one of the best heavyweight competitors out there. And Davanyam is 113 pounds heavier than Batyr, but Batyr has great balance and sensitivity. He stays in there, almost gets Davanyam out, but he falls himself, and this has got to be frustrating for Batyr. He really wanted to make his mark in the openweight division too. Cannot quite get to the quarterfinals, but he is the lightweight champion.
A couple of months after the U.S. Sumo Open, Batyr competed again at the World Championships.
And once again, he was dominant, winning every single match to become the new World Sumo Champion. And here he is with his coach doing the trademark backflip.
Bold Batyr might have been the only contender to give Batyr a run for his money in the lightweight division. but Bolbatar showed up late to the venue and missed his lightweight matches. However, he still competed in the openweight division.
Here he is beating 366-pound Johannes from Germany. Incredible technique by the 187-pound Bolbatar. And next, he goes against a 373-pound opponent, double his weight. Look at the technique and reflexes on Bolbatar. He had some major upsets in the openweight division. If only he had been on time for the lightweight, who knows what would have happened.
Nyambayar was so dominant in his first 2 years at the US Sumo Open. 13-0 record in the lightweight division. Here he is 2 years ago, destroying all of his international competitors. In the lightweight finals, he defeated his fellow Mongolian and training partner Zana for the gold medal.
This is where he's dangerous. Zana trying to hold his own. Both looking. Nyama with a nice hip toss out of the ring, and we have a lightweight champion.
Then again, last year, 2015, was a perfect repeat as Nyambayar went undefeated once again for a consecutive lightweight gold medal. This guy is just dominant year in and year out. But this year in 2016, he gained 24 pounds from 187 up to 211, so instead of lightweight opponents, he will be facing middleweight contenders. But first, let's check out last year's lightweight finals. It was Nyambayar versus Bolbatar. Both of them were undefeated, both top Mongolian wrestlers, and Nyambayar on the left with his spin move to take down Bolbatar for the victory. Let's see if Nyambayar can move up to middleweight and do the same kind of damage he's done consistently in the lightweight division year in and year out.
In one of his earlier matches, he faced Japanese standout Takeshi.
Now, Nyambayar at 211 pounds and Takeshi at 220 pounds are two of the lighter middleweights. Takeshi is a multi-time university champion in Japan, and he's definitely one of the favorites to win the entire middleweight division, but look at Nyambayar spin him out. What a victory.
Next, Nyambayar faces 253-pound Henning from Norway.
And Nyambayar takes away the size advantage with a double underarm hook, forcing Henning down.
Nyambayar also wrestled former Olympic gold medalist Karam Gabar from Egypt.
Now, Nyambayar's given up 20 pounds in this match, but he's much more skilled at sumo and Mongolian wrestling. So Karam is very technical at Greco-Roman wrestling, but you can see Nyambayar has a great position underneath his opponent, and you can see Nyambayar working carefully, getting better balance. Even when Karam tries to do a big spin move here and flip his opponent, his hand goes down first.
In the quarterfinals, Nyambayar matched up with Ruslan from Russia.
Very close match there, but Ruslan's foot goes out just a split second before. Look at the pivot at the edge of the ring. Nyambayar, with the victory, advances to the semifinals.
After losing his semifinal match to another Mongolian, Nyambayar faces Takeshi again, this time in the bronze medal match.
Nyambayar won earlier when they met in the opening rounds, but Takeshi is desperate to get a medal at his US Sumo Open debut here. Both of these guys struggling for position. Very tough fight. They're both very balanced. Look at the right hand of Nyambayar. Takes Takeshi down, grabbing the left knee of Takeshi for a well-earned third-place victory for Nyambayar from Mongolia. 3 years in a row, he gets medals at the US Sumo Open.
Nyambayar wins the bronze medal in the middleweight division.
And now it's time to have a little fun. Let's meet Yama, the heaviest Japanese person ever. Multi-time world sumo champion Yama is a special guest and head judge at the US Sumo Open every year. This legend has years of experience in the top division of Japanese pro sumo, but he's also becoming quite a popular entertainer.
You ready to fight Yama? Okay. And Darren is the winner. Way to go, Darren. Aiden, how old are you? 5. Have you ever done sumo?
No.
Well, you will right now. Get ready. Yama, what sports do you do?
Soccer?
No kicking in sumo. Okay, get ready for Yama.
The crowd is having a blast with Yama. Who knew a 600-pounder could be so much fun? Konstantin Abdulazadeh is another top-notch Russian contender who trains with lightweight champion Batir.
In the opening rounds in his division, Konstantin was 6-0. Here he is defeating Nyambayar, who lost to no one else but Konstantin in the opening rounds. And against Henning from Norway, Konstantin controls his opponent, maneuvering him around the ring. Very stable, good footwork, and he knows how to move forward. His training in Russia and in Japan really paying off here. I think we'll see a bright future in sumo for Konstantin.
And again, here we see Olympic champion Karim Gaber.
Konstantin with a vicious forward attack, and he never lets up. As you can see, Konstantin is constantly in motion, diverting his opponent's attack and taking the advantage for easy victories.
We've seen earlier that Takeshi is one of the top challengers in the middleweight division.
Yes, that's right. Takeshi from Japan and Konstantin from Russia are two of the most technical competitors with great speed, strength, and sumo skill set. Look at the slapping attacks, look at the thrusting attacks. They end up in a pretty even position here, both struggling to get the better of their opponent. The action slows down. Who's going to take advantage here with a sudden movement? And there it is. Konstantin just lifts him out. Wow, he's got the full package. 6-0 in the opening rounds.
In the quarterfinals, he goes against Joachim from Norway.
And that is a quick match there, but I think he got a tooth in his palm at the start there. Turns out he got a little injury, but he persisted, going to the semifinals.
And in the semifinals, he matched up again with Takeshi.
He beat Takeshi earlier in the opening rounds, but can he do it again to make it to the finals? Oh, and the referee is signaling there was a false start. Takeshi false started. They're going to redo this semifinal match. All right, good start here for both of the competitors. Takeshi going forward, Konstantin recovers. Oh, and look at the dramatic throw by Konstantin. Amazing move there. Great reflexes and speed to move on to the finals. Let's check out the instant replay here. Takeshi actually is very balanced, but Konstantin twists him forward. Amazing throw, great technique, and once again, Takeshi goes down.
And Konstantin advances to the middleweight finals, which we'll see in just a couple of minutes. Perhaps the most powerful middleweight competitor is Altanghuyag Altangarel, another Mongolian.
And as you can see, this guy is very, very muscular, but he has incredible technique. Here's Ed, the top U.S. prospect, and Ed was 5-1 in the opening rounds, losing only to Altanghuyag. And Joachim from Norway also struggled against the power and stability of Altanghuyag. And Joachim is really trying, but he can't make any progress or forward momentum against Altanghuyag here. Altanghuyag is basically stabilizing himself, keeping a very good stance. And I think at this point, Altanghuyag is just waiting for his chance, just looking for the right timing to make his move. He has a good position there on Joachim, and there it is. An easy lift-out victory for Altanghuyag. And now Altanghuyag faces Ruslan from Russia, and you can see it's not just the power alone, but Altanghuyag keeps moving. There's no chance for Ruslan to escape. And then against Aron from Poland, a guy who's won multiple medals at the World Championships, Altanghuyag is relentless in his forward attack. And here we have him going against Karim Gaber, the former Olympic gold medalist in Greco-Roman wrestling. Altanghuyag gets a great position and makes quick work of Karim.
This leads us to the semifinal match, where Altanghuyag faced his good friend and countryman Nyambayar. On the left, Altangulyag at 253 pounds, and Nyambayar on the right at only 211.
Even with that big size advantage, Altangulyag can't take any chances. He has to be very careful against Nyambayar, who has a lot of skill and speed. Altangulyag just locks him up, gets a good grip, and forces him straight out of the ring, moving on to the finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, so far, both of these men have been completely undefeated. Both have an 8-win.
Okay, this is really good. What a matchup for the middleweight finals. Both Konstantin and Altangulyag are undefeated, each with 8 wins and no losses.
Both guys come out very, very strong here. Look at that, slapping and thrusting away, not giving up any ground. They lock up here. Ooh, Altangulyag falls on top of Konstantin. I think the call goes to Altangulyag because he was on top, but let's watch the instant replay. Grappling for position here. Right there, Konstantin's body is already past the point of no return. Even though Altangulyag's hand went down, Altangulyag wins the match because Konstantin was beyond a 45-degree angle. Very tough call there, but I think it's a legitimate victory for Altangulyag. Tough loss for Konstantin.
Altangulyag is the middleweight champion with a 9-0 record. You can tell these guys really respect each other. Altangulyag also fought later in the openweight division.
And here he is facing Henning from Norway, who we saw earlier. And you can see Altangulyag just stabilizes his opponent. He has his left hand there, totally taking away Henning's right arm. And now it's just a matter of time. Altangulyag with the better position, forcing Henning backwards step by step. Great victory. And in another one of his openweight matches, Altangulyag faced the heaviest competitor, 457-pound Rami from Egypt, who was last year's heavyweight champion, giving up over 200 pounds. On the left, Altangulyag has a big challenge, but he actually gets a very good double inside grip and throws down Rami for a major, dramatic quarterfinal win.
After winning 11 matches in a row, Altangulyag eventually lost in the openweight semifinals to his friend Davanyam. Karam Gabar has won 2 Olympic medals in Greco-Roman wrestling. He won the gold medal in Athens in 2004, and he won the silver medal in London in 2012. But in his US Sumo Open debut, he only managed 2 wins and 4 losses in the opening rounds.
That's right, lack of sumo experience was a challenge for him. Here he is against Henning from Norway. You can see the hand of Karam goes down first and he loses. And he lost this way in several matches. Here he is against the Japanese University champion Takeshi, who looks a lot smaller. But once again, as Karam is spun around, his hand goes down first and Takeshi wins. As the day progressed, Karam did better and better. There was a 3-way tie in his division for 4th place, and he beat his opponents, including Henning, to just barely make it into the quarterfinals. So even Olympic champions struggle at the US Sumo Open. Will we see Karam back again with more sumo training?
Edward Sushevsky is America's latest and greatest middleweight hope. Back in 2014, when he was competing in the lightweight division, Ed shocked everyone. He came out of nowhere, beating many top foreign wrestlers, including the South American champion. In the end, Ed captured the bronze medal.
And now, at the 2016 US Sumo Open, Ed was absolutely amazing in the middleweight division. Here he is against the Polish champion, Aron, and Ed beats a guy who's won medals at the World Championships. Really spectacular for one of the Americans to do that. And here Ed's facing Joachim from Norway. Once again, you can see Ed gets a great lower position, and Joachim is stuck here. Ed is keeping him at bay, waiting for his chance to go forward. And I think Ed has definitely improved a lot in these last few years, including his training in Japan. You can see he has very good technique, has his head underneath, and here he gets a good belt grip. Clamps down there on Joachim, and he forces him straight out for the victory. And happened against Ruslan from Russia, Ed just pushes him back and slams him straight down. With this victory, Ed goes 5-1 in his division. The only guy that beat Ed was Altanuyag, the eventual champion. So incredible performance to be the number 2 guy in his division, but unfortunately he faces Takeshi in his quarterfinal match, and Takeshi trained with him in Japan and he knows Ed's weaknesses.
Overall, though, an amazing performance by Ed Sushevsky. Roy Sims is the most dominant American sumo wrestler since he started 2 years ago. In his first competition ever, at the 2014 US Sumo Open, Roy beat all of his opponents in heavyweight and openweight, losing only to 2 former pro sumo wrestlers, 4-time world champion Biamba and also Soslan from Russia.
In fact, he even beat Soslan here in one of their 2 encounters. And then the following year, at the 2015 US Sumo Open, he faced Biamba in the openweight semifinals. Roy had never beaten Biamba before in any of their previous matches. In this match, though, he hits Biamba hard and gets the victory quickly, doing something almost no one had ever done by beating Biamba at the US Sumo Open. He moved on to the openweight finals, where he faced the Egyptian Rami, who he had lost to previously in the heavyweight division. But here in the last match of the day, the openweight final match, Roy Sims takes it over, beating Rami, winning the openweight champion title, something no American had ever done in 15 years. Jumping ahead to the World Championships in 2016, a couple months after the US Sumo Open, Roy competed in the openweight division, beating 4 massive opponents. Here he is against the Ukrainian contender. Roy takes him down. And another one of Roy's victories was against the Estonian opponent, brother of Baruto, the legendary pro sumo wrestler. In fact, Roy was so dominant that he beat every single opponent in the openweight division, only losing to the eventual champion, Turbold, from Mongolia.
With this remarkable performance, Roy reached the podium at the World Championships, which no American had done in the past 8 years.
And back to the 2016 US Sumo Open, where Roy just plowed through his opponents in the opening rounds. Using his patented thrusting technique, no one could even get near his belt. Roy simply bulldozed these guys out one by one. Really crushing performance by Roy Sims.
In fact, aside from his matches against Biamba that day, Roy fought a total of 11 different opponents and he beat all 11.
Here in the openweight, Roy faced some very tough competition from the middleweight division, including Constantine, who actually kept Roy in check until he got knocked up against the edge of the ring and fell. Roy also went against Takeshi, and a little bit worrisome as Takeshi got an inside position, but Roy simply lifted Takeshi out. Roy also matched up with Altanuyag in the quarterfinals. Altanuyag gave him some pressure, but another lift out by Big Roy. Then in the semifinals, Roy faced Davanyam, a 300-pound Mongolian fighter that Roy has beaten now for 3 years in a row. Roy goes on to the final match.
In fact, Roy will face Biamba in both heavyweight and openweight finals. We'll see those in just a few moments. In his first 9 years of the US Sumo Open, Biamba racked up a record of 84 wins and only 4 losses. In Biamba's first 8 US Sumo Opens, his record was 76-2. He won the heavyweight division undefeated all 8 years in a row. In the openweight, he also got the gold medal 6 times out of 8. Nobody can compare with his level of international success.
And we're back at the 2016 US Sumo Open. Biamba is ready to redeem himself. Last year in 2015 was the only year he did not actually win the gold medal. He is pumped up to win this year. Early on, he began imposing his will on all his opponents. No one had a chance as Biamba breezed through the opening rounds undefeated. In fact, a lot of times it looked like Biamba was just toying with his opponents. And then Biamba met Roy, the first of their 3 matchups that day. The key was Biamba's speed off the start before Roy could thrust away.
Going into the heavyweight semifinals, Biamba was 7-0. His opponent was 457-pound Rami, who had actually upset Biamba in last year's heavyweight finals.
Biamba was determined not to lose again. He quickly got Rami off balance and took down the giant. And let's check out the replay.
This led Biamba to the heavyweight final match against his toughest rival. Will Biamba regain his heavyweight title?
This is a very important match for Biamba. He was the heavyweight champion 8 years in a row. Last year was the only time he did not get gold. It's also big for Roy. He beat Biamba once before last year. Can he do it again? Who will win the heavyweight championship? And Biamba gets off to a great start, getting inside and cutting off Roy's thrusting attack. Once Biamba gets on the belt, there it is. They both tumble, but Roy hits first. Biamba has recovered the championship title in the heavyweight division. And here in the replay, we can see it again. Just like earlier, Biamba gets inside of Roy before Roy can start pushing away. Biamba is very adept on the belt. Roy wants some separation, so Biamba has the edge. Uses his foot to trip Roy. They both tumble off the stage, but Roy hits first.
Ladies and gentlemen, for eight years in a row, Biamba was heavyweight champion. Last year was the first time he wasn't, and this year he regained his title, US Sumo Open heavyweight champion.
Well, Biamba has won the heavyweight division, so let's see how he does in the open weight. Biamba swept through all his opponents in the early rounds. Here he is against Bolbatar in the quarterfinals.
And Biamba does not want to take Bolbatar for granted. You saw the incredible technique earlier that Bolbatar has. Biamba playing it safe and wins with a leg sweep. All right, and then in the semifinals, Biamba faced his good friend Davanyam, who consistently gets in the semifinals every year at the US Sumo Open. These guys know each other's technique and strategy very well. Biamba's just playing the waiting game, holding his position, looking for an opening or a chance to beat his good friend Davanyam. And Davanyam's a judo champion. He's trying some leg movements there, but Biamba takes him down. Davanyam went on to win the third place match and got a bronze medal, but Biamba goes to the finals against Roy.
That's right. This is the last match of the entire 6-hour tournament. The open weight final. These are clearly the 2 best sumo wrestlers in the field.
That's right. Biamba beat Roy earlier in the heavyweight finals, but anything can happen in the open weight finals. Biamba beat Roy twice earlier today, but Roy defeated 11 other opponents. Can Roy redeem himself and beat Biamba once for the open weight gold, or will Biamba go undefeated 13-0 today to sweep both heavyweight and open weight gold medals, which he has done in 6 past years, undefeated in both divisions? This is the big moment. Biamba charges, he gets in. Roy's trying to keep the distance. Biamba stays with him. Down goes Roy. Biamba wins undefeated 13-0 today, something he's done 6 times before. Here's the replay. Biamba does not allow any separation, doesn't give Roy a chance to thrust. Big victory for Biamba. Roy had a great day, but he's got to be disappointed. He couldn't quite beat Biamba today.
This has been the 16th annual US Sumo Open. What a spectacular competition, with 192 back-to-back matches. We covered the top athletes, including lightweight Batir, middleweight medalists Nyambayar, Konstantin, and Altanhayag. And finally, the top two heavyweight and openweight finishers, Roy and Biamba. The biggest story's gotta be Biamba is back. What can we expect in 2017? Will Biamba and Roy go head-to-head for a fourth year in a row?